Hi, this is Janos, and I'm going to do a Zen audio session today again. And uh, and that's simple reason is that I found that quotes from Herb Reichert that I was looking for, and which one I didn't find at the end of the previous video. So I will be quoting Herb Reichert and his casual reactions, um sound practices, issue 13. And I will give you pointers on how to create a perfect audio system. And a perfect, I mean, don't mean quote unquote perfect that someone goes with a checklist and ding 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 ding, ding everything is perfect, you get a medal, or no one, no, that's not happening. If you click out everything, it's like grading something. And we all know by now, we are adults, or most of us are probably, that just think back for school, think back for your classmates who were straight A's, who had the best grades of every subject. Were they the ones who got most successful in life? No. Perfection does not come from ticking all the boxes. Perfection comes from being able to learn from things, being able to integrate things, to put together things, find the balance. Find the balance between the components, find the balance within components and your room, and find the balance with you and the whole system. And and here now let's find Herb's thoughts. If I could be remembered for only one contribution to audio, it would be this: how the system looks, how the electronics and speakers interface with your room and lifestyle, how they are placed, and how they are lit is the most important thing you can consider when planning a home building project. So this is what Herb tells us, that don't think of audio as like the hunt for the perfect DAC, or the hunt for the perfect loudspeaker, or the elusive tube amplifier. No, it is a home building project. You are creating a home, and you have to create a home to have the experience to connect to music. The universe only opens up when you have created the home and you made it whole. If you don't have a home, you just plop down in an alien space, music will not come to you. It doesn't matter what audio system you put in there, you will never be able to connect music, to reach what is possible to reach with those precious recordings, in the grooves, in the bits on the tape. It doesn't matter where they live. You can only absorb them, you can only appreciate their beauty in its entirely when you have created a home, and how it looks, how it feels. Um, for all of us, it is up to us to decode what Herb meant, what he said this. But for me, this is how I decode it, because this is how it feels for me, how it always felt for me, that how the equipment is in the room, it creates a feeling in me. And I always get a feel whether is it balanced or not. So for example, because I have now like 24 years of experience in positioning loudspeakers and hearing how they sound. Now if I just go into a room and it's not even on. I just look at the system, I look at the room, look at the speakers, and I already can tell whether those speakers are in their right positions or not. And just by the look, just by the aesthetics, you know whether that system needs tuning, whether it needs rearrangement or not. And I know part of it might seem voodoo to you. It is not. Uh, it is. There is a lot of experience component in it, and there's a lot of subconscious component in it. Uh, I have to tell that our brains are far more complex devices than we give credit, and they the brain is the best sound processor on the planet. Any computer, any measuring device is nothing. It's really like nothing compared to the calculating capacity of the brain. And there is a process called synesthesia, which is a process of the brain when we can link together different feelings, different types of perceptions, like linking together vision and sound, or taste and sound, or smells and sound. And when you look at your listening space, at your audio room, this is what happens. That your ears pick up the sound of the room, the echoes, how it feels, how's the room acoustics. When you talk to your friends, your ears will pick up the reflections that come from the speakers, that comes from the turntable stand or whatnot, and in your mind processes that information and creates summations, creates summaries of information packets. And to make them meaningful for you, your brain will link those packets to different visual cues, smells, memories. Memories might pop into your mind to of some things that you might have forgotten, and all of these will point you to perfect your audio system. And under perfect, I mean the process of creating your home, creating that welcoming environment that can connect you deeply to music. Uh, so let's continue with Herb. Create a place to go. Create a personal ritual. So for me, for us, this has been really easy because I was fortunate that when I got here to Hawaii, then very early on, I met up with my best friends, who are still my best friends since then. And they have been right from the first moment when we met. And it was music, it was audio that brought us together. We were all searching for music to experience it. Each of us are exploring something, and we just are absolutely amazed and overjoyed to have each other's systems in our life, to experience music through so many different aspects, different sides, different perceptions, different aspects of the synesthesia that is created in the brain. And um, and we have created our rituals. So for example, part of that was like getting together, doing these audio gatherings, and Leonard taught us the ritual of tea, the gongfu cha, Chinese tea ceremony, and we always had tea ceremony with our listening sessions, and he got me hooked up on Chinese tea ceremony, tea drinking, and it's a wonderful thing. It's part of the homemaking process. That when I make tea, that's uh, that's part of the ritual of listening to music. It helps create that space, that home, and I just cannot emphasize how powerful it is that music is so much more than sound, but you have to allow it to happen. You have to create it. You have to create the atmosphere for it. Now, integrate the process of soldering with the process of listening. So now Herb is talking about you doing stuff, you tweaking stuff. And it's not just the soldering. If you are not you don't think that you can do soldering or get into it that deep, or maybe you don't even have time for that or the desire, then think of just like adjusting the placement of the loudspeakers. Just do that. Play around with your system. Play, try out just simple tweaks, very simple things like put a felt mat on your turntable on the platter and put the record on the flat mat and see how it sounds. Is there any difference? Are you noticing something? And probably it won't do any good to it, but you will experience something different, and you will learn from it what's happening, and it will just doing things, changing things around. Try like switching off the lights or put on a spotlight or rearrange your chair, your sofa, see how it sounds, like move the coffee table to the side and listen again to the same music. Or is there any difference? Play around with it. Uh, be the experimenter at the level you feel comfortable, and connect the experimentation with listening. Don't make it separate. So don't think like that okay, now I'm working on the gear and there's no music, nothing, I'm in just totally separate, and now I am listening. So if you look around in my room, so now I'm sitting in a chair, and this is not the sweet spot. I'm facing directly the woofer. It's really firing straight at me. But even in this position, I listen a lot because it's super comfy with my system. I can pick any position I want to sit. I will have a very deep experience. But so from here, I can move either there to the sweet spot where you see the Jean-Michel Jarre record now, or I can move this side where that's my bench. So that's where I do my soldering, my tweaking, measurements, etc. And I have the music playing while I do, and I get inspiration from it. I hear the sound, I have the experience, and what I'm working on, I'm putting the intent how I want this experience to change. And I want the music to guide me, to guide my hand, to guide my choices. Because even though I know how things work, like which resistors to choose, what kind of effect does that have on sound, but ultimately that's like a gigantic telephone book, and it is you who have to make the call for a specific choice. And if you make that choice purely by logic and rational thinking, it will give you mediocre results. You will get something which will get tremendously great reviews, but it will not get you anywhere closer to that ritual, to the tea ceremony of listening to music that Herb is talking about. You have to let the music inspire you, not just in the soldering, not just in the tweaking, but also when you are choosing equipment, when you are listening. Just let the music help the process. And if you have a new equipment, you just bought something off Craigslist or directly from the manufacturer, put it in your system, listen, have the experience, and then also imagine how you want this experience to change if you don't like it or if you want more. And when you make that connection with yourself, so that you are becoming aware of the changes that the music makes in you, how your system affects you, that's when your audio journey truly starts, and that's when you are creating paradigm shifts in your audio journey. So thank you for listening, and thank you, Herb, for your inspiration. That since the first time I read it nearly 20 years ago, it it uh, it's been very powerful for me. And right now, when I read it, I just laughing to myself, because literally when I'm reading, like, word by word, everything came true, everything. And so thank you for watching, for listening, and thank you, Herb. Have an amazing musical journey, everyone, and I wish for everyone to connect to music so deep. Bye bye.